Welcome to the Real College Life podcast. And this is an awesome episode because we are talking about Welcome Week. And before we get into all the fun of Welcome Week, we also need to say that we're eating Belt's ice cream tonight.
Great thing to do.
And
Welcome Week.
It is, because if you're going to be welcomed to the UWSP, you should go get yourself some Belt's ice cream.
Definitely did not just have a stem in it, but
no,
it's okay. It's
it
real
may
fruit.
have, but it's real fruit.
It's real fruit,
real
coming
raspberries,
from real farms.
So,
Stevens Point.
My name is Ryan Nadel, and I guess I would be considered the host of this wonderful podcast. And I got three amazing friends with me today. So why don't you guys introduce yourself and share a little about your connection to UWSP and all things Stevens Point, starting with Kyle.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I am Kyle. I'm a junior now.
Wow.
Coming
Holy
in here
smokes, that's
this
old.
fall. Yeah, been connected with crew since my fall semester freshman year. What's he going?
You didn't even purchase that. That's Kyle's.
I know, but Kyle's generous.
Yeah.
I'm stealing your hot fudge.
We should share. That's what we should do. We should share. I'm actually good. Thank you, though.
This is real college life. This is real college.
Name, but then you guys, now Kyle is generous. That's a good thing. Like a characteristic about you.
Are
but
you
we should
more
share
of
it
this?
about each other. So like Nate'll share that you're generous. So you share something about me.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
And then I'll share something about Jamie, and Jamie shares something about Nate. Like a characteristic.
That's
so
good.
Nate'll, well, I guess Jamie can do him. You're generous. Okay. But keep talking about your experience, Welcome week.
You just want some
Unscripted.
praise. Is that what it is?
No, I thought it was good. He praised too.
I appreciate it. How's the fudge?
It's amazing. Thanks for being so generous, Kyle.
You're welcome.
It's really a part of who you are.
Oh, everyone should give a word for...
We should interrupt Kyle one more time.
All right, your turn, Nate.
Yeah,
Kyle, you need to introduce Nate.
What do you want me more to say?
His involvement with crew. That was great.
That's good.
I don't know.
That's
I've been involved since my fall semester freshman year, coming right into Welcome Week, and that's how I got connected. And I'm excited to talk about it and encourage everybody to check us out.
Boom.
Nate.
My name's Nathan. Nathan doesn't matter. Sankey. I actually grew up in this area. Stevens Point, Plover area.
What do we call those who grow up in the Stevens Point area and then attend
Townies?
UWSP, we call them the Townies.
Townies.
Yeah.
A lot of benefits to being a townie. You know exactly where to eat.
That's right.
You know where to fish.
You know where Fleet
got
Farm
all
is.
the good spots.
Mm-hmm.
The important things in Point. Where to eat and where to fish. So.
How long have you been involved with crew?
I have been involved with crew. I actually got to know Ryan before because we go to the same church, and we were at a men's steak night.
Oh, yeah.
And we got to sit together and chat it up.
That was fun.
And yeah, he introduced me to a few people that I got to know over the course of the first week, a few different events. So yeah, kind of that's how the involvement with crew started. But do you have
I got a word.
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, it's a good word. I'm gonna stay on like the track of where we're going. I would say hospitable.
That's
Wow.
good.
Yeah,
I appreciate
That is
that.
It's
really
helpful that he's
hospitable.
my roommate, so I
Yeah.
get to experience that.
I think after you guys
Daily,
have lived
but-
together for a year, though.
Yeah.
Right? If you can
True.
say that about your roommate after a year, that's like, those are big words.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
All right, you got a word for Jamie, Nate?
Yeah. But are we doing it at the end? Or I
You can do whatever you want. I'm sorry.
I can share first.
Gotcha.
You guys hear me okay?
Oh, you sound great.
Awesome. I'm Jamie. I am not from Point, but I just graduated after 5 awesome years of school, and I got involved with crew my freshman year. Through Welcome Week, I heard about it. So, yeah.
The one word to describe Jamie is intentional.
Very.
Thank you.
And how. That's how the old people say it. They say, and how.
That means like, I agree.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
how.
I
And
thought
how.
that meant like, please describe, like elaborate.
Nope.
And I was like,
tell-
no, I'm just kidding. That's just a joke.
I got nothing to back it up.
All right. So, first question for all y'all. during your first week of school, we'll expand it to maybe month.
Sorry, I gotta interrupt. You see how many raspberries?
Yeah,
Like I literally
Belts was
can't.
very generous.
I'm
You
just
can't
like
even-
plowing through, and there's a whole nother layer on the bottom.
Eric
it's like a
getting
whole
small.
carton of raspberries.
That's like $5 in raspberries.
It's just
Should have
yeah.
got the large.
So during like your first week on campus and or your maybe even your first month, did you ever have any very embarrassing moments? I.e., did you go to the wrong class and like I've heard stories. This did not happen to me, and I'm not saying it because it did, but I've heard stories of people like sitting in a class for like a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do it?
No, but I heard about it.
You've heard
yeah.
those stories too. Did you guys do anything embarrassing?
Honestly, not that I mean, I'm sure I did something embarrassing, but not sitting in the wrong class.
Okay.
Trying to think. And
I'm sure I did it. I'm sure I went to the wrong class once
Yeah.
at least.
you should share not necessarily your first welcome week, but welcome week last year about the pit.
The pit.
That's pretty embarrassing.
Are you done with this hot fudge? By the
Yeah,
way?
but that's not like a class thing.
Okay.
But yes.
Yeah.
assuming.
Oh, I thought he was talking about welcome week specifically.
No, like
Oh, gotcha.
we can. I guess we can talk about the pit when we
Oh, yeah.
maybe if we describe welcome week.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can talk about the pit.
I'm thinking like embarrassing. It'll come. Do you have
Alright.
anything? Or
I feel like I did embarrassing things probably from like somebody else's perspective, maybe.
I know something embarrassing. Kyle has raspberry on his shorts right now.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's
It's
not
like-
welcome week though.
I mean, that's like the smallest little bit of raspberry.
All right, so
but
nobody
it
did
looks like
anything
a blood
embarrassing on
stain
welcome
now.
week, which is great. That should be an encouragement to everyone who's listening to this that, you know what, maybe you're not going to do anything embarrassing.
Well,
Oh,
I guess no, the corn roast. That's week 2. But me and another one of my friends, Garrett, we did the speed eating competition, and we both burnt the roof of our mouths like
On corn?
scorched it. We didn't wait at all. It was burning hot, and we just torched it. And then we went night fishing till like 3 a.m. and we had like bubbler and whatnot and soda, but it was just like the citrus like on the roof of your
citric
mouth.
acid.
Yeah, it was just burned. And it was like, you can't have anything salty. So we were eating like, the only thing we brought was like Gardettos. And so it was just like, you're hungry, but you can't eat because it's just so painful.
Yuck.
So-
Yuck. So don't burn your mouth during welcome week. There's too much good food.
Yeah.
So Crew, as a student organization, does a lot of really fun events during welcome week, as you guys know. Would one of you maybe want to describe one of your favorite Crew welcome week events?
I know Nathan's got one.
Oh, yeah. My favorite one, the last 2 years,
Oh, yeah.
the river float.
Yep.
We just get a group of, I would say the first year was probably 35, 40. I think we had 50 probably.
50 plus tubes going down the Plover
Yeah.
River last year.
Go up about, I don't know, 2 miles or maybe a mile and a half or
Yep.
something. Just jump in the river at this like little dead end road, float down with a ton of people that you never met before.
Yep.
But great time to really learn and get to know people.
Sorry, you can just hear his spoon on the styrofoam.
I'm trying to get the most. I'm sorry, out there in TV
I'm
land.
trying to get
I'm
away
trying
from
to-
the mic so
I'm
no one
trying
can
to
hear
get
me.
the most of my hot fudge. This is inappropriate, but this is what happens when you eat ice cream on live TV.
It's so good though.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, why is the river float
Anyway.
awesome?
Yeah. My first year, it was a great opportunity to meet. I forget the order that we're doing stuff, but it was one of my first events.
Okay.
So it was nice to meet a lot of people. A lot of the people that I connected there, I'm still friends with to this day. So
Wow.
that's pretty awesome. And then we just hung out at the beach afterwards on Iverson Park and played volleyball for like 2-3 hours. And yeah, last year, a girl dropped her phone in like it's literally 2 feet deep 95% of the time. And the one time she dropped it,
No.
it was like in the 6-foot hole where all the trees are, all the snapping turtles probably
Oh
live.
yeah, all the catfish.
So me and Keaton, another guy, we're just like sticking our feet, trying to like wedge them in between the sticks and branches to try to find this girl's phone. And after like 5-10 minutes, we got it.
Found that phone.
We found it. Praise God.
Yep.
Jehovah
That's good
Jireh,
stuff.
He
Wow.
provides.
So Kyle, what was your favorite welcome week event your freshman year?
Sorry.
That's a good question. I think they were all very similarly
Simmer.
enjoyable, to the point of like it was like a new thing going by myself, interesting. Like I didn't know anybody, but they're all very similar in the fact that I felt like I got like connected through these events with just like individual people and like within little groups of people and stuff too. Honestly really enjoyed, it was like the first crew event I ever went to was glow in the dark volleyball.
Shout out Mo Martin for putting on that event.
There you go. I think honestly it's probably like the least what's the word? Like it doesn't really work, glow in the dark volleyball. I mean it does, but it's
more of like a semi glow in the dark hangout.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I played volleyball as much because it just didn't really work in the dark, but as I did kind of get really connected with a group of people. Yeah, and then that turned into like a 3 a.m. like just continuing to hang out and talk. I think afterwards I was like 10 or 11 p.m. and we walked over to Quick Trip and grabbed a snack.
Go.
And
I still remember that too. Like getting invited, like just by a group. I mean, we were just freshmen, and we were in the same dorm, not roommates, but like in the same dorm on the same floor. So we like met each other.
Just like a few hours earlier that same day.
Yeah, just some random people. Well, not random, but they were from crew. Like invited us to go like to Quick Trip. So huge thing to just say yes to. Just say yes.
I think Jamie thinks she's invited us.
Yeah, I was one of those random people.
Well,
just some random people.
I was going to give credit to Kenna, but.
No. So, Jamie, what was one of your favorite Welcome Week events? Were you in the middle of COVID? Were we in the middle of?
Yeah, I don't remember much about like freshman, sophomore year. I remember.
That's crazy.
The one thing, it's not an event that crew does during Welcome Week, but it's like the handing out of like cup and Coke.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I first heard about crew. I knew that there were like campus ministries, was like, maybe we'll check them out, maybe we won't. Then I remember people were like camped out front of Neal Hall, and they had their cups and a Coke. And that's when like before we used like Arnold Palmer and Bubbler and like.
That was back when we used real soda?
I actually had Coke. Like I got a Coke and a cup that said, come to crew Thursday night. Yeah. That was my first experience of like hearing about crew.
We've upped our game to Bubbler and Arnie Palmer and lemonades. And
he laughs. Arnie Palmer.
You and Lauren are the only people that say Arnie Palmer. I don't know if that's just
really?
Like a...
Must be a... I don't know
Manitowoc
what that is. Manitowoc, Minnesota thing. But it's the coast of the...
Yeah.
I don't know. Wisconsin.
But it's funny.
From coast to coast.
It's like the opposite coast.
Yeah. Well, does the Mississippi River count as a coast? We'll count it.
I got a question. Okay. Why do you think the cup and the Coke is such like a good event?
Because I don't think many people turn down a free beverage, especially when it's a nice day.
Yeah. Being
able to just there's not much commitment to it. It's, hey, do you want this beverage that is in a cup that has information about our ministry?
Yeah. The bonus is the cup. At least my cup was glow in the dark.
Yeah. And I still have it.
Yeah.
There you go.
I used it for my toothbrush for so long.
Yeah. It's a great cup for that.
Yeah.
The last
everybody
2 years
does.
It's been like 90 degrees too during Welcome Week. So like the river float, everyone's just sweating to death. So
it's so great.
Getting in the water is great. Cup and the Coke's great.
Yep.
Glow in the dark volleyball's at night, so it's like cooler.
Yep. Yeah, so we really, as an organization, if you're an incoming freshman to Stevens Point, or if you're going to other campuses in the Midwest or anywhere really in the country, there's going to be Welcome Week events happening. Crew is going to be out there letting you know that we are on campus. And obviously every crew ministry does Welcome Week different. But in Stevens Point, our biggest goal is that there would not be a student on campus who hasn't heard about crew. That's a double negative. Every student on campus would hear about crew before our first meeting on the first Thursday of the semester, which this year is, get my calendar out because I never remember dates.
I'm gonna guess September 7th.
This year is not September. That would be a Saturday.
September 5th.
September 5th.
Woo!
Nice job, Jamie. September 5th is our first crew meeting. And if you're going to be on campus at UWSP, we'd love to have you there. A lot of crew ministries and meetings will be happening on that first Thursday, but some crew ministries meet on different nights of the week. So, yeah, try to figure out what's going on. Your first week on campus, especially as a freshman, I would say, I don't know, that's an emotional week a little bit. I remember
There's a lot of stuff going on.
there's a lot of stuff going on. I remember they had a hypnotist on campus the first week, and a bunch of people were getting hypnotized and doing really stupid things, which was kind of funny, odd. Yeah, kind of odd, but funny odd. You're getting to know people on your floor. And there's this kind of, I don't know, for me, there was this colliding of like real exciting energy of like, I'm on my own, kind of meeting this like wave of, I miss my family and I feel like a part of my life is now over and a new part of my life is beginning. I don't know, for you guys, what were the emotions? What emotions do you remember during Welcome Week, if anything?
Yeah, I remember it felt like the first week kind of just feels like a camp or like a
That's good.
just like you're just there for just a week and then you're probably going to go back home. That's what it feels like. Like I have this roommate and we're becoming friends, but like it's just going to be for a week and then I'm going to go home. But then you're there forever. And you're like, I'm not going
Sandlot forever.
Yeah, and then you get to, it's like a week later and you're still with that person and you're like, oh, we're still doing this, huh? And so I think initially it was like exciting. It was like, where should we go? What should we do?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things to pick from.
It's a very formative week, like the first week, because you don't have like full classes, a ton of schoolwork necessarily. So it's like that's your time to get out, like communicate with people, be able to like make new friends, like meet people on your floor, and just say yes, like wisely, obviously, not just say yes to anyone. If someone pulls up with a white van, don't just jump in. But
I have a story about that later.
Oh.
But yeah, don't jump into people's white vans.
no, don't.
Kyle, how about you? Were you just stoic? Or do you walk on canvas and say, another day in the life?
No, I think you just like are overwhelmed by like I have freedom and I can make choices.
Yeah.
And there's a lot with that, like a lot of like, ooh, this will be fun, and then it's like, ooh, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And to make the right choices and to feel like, I mean, you're gonna make a choice that you down the road are like, I maybe shouldn't have done that, or I wish I would have done it differently, and that's
Right.
okay. That's how you learn. But I think one of the like mindsets I went into it with, or especially like after like my first few interactions, I was like, you know what, like I have to get to know people. I mean, I don't have to, but I don't really want to just sit in my dorm all day every day after I get back from class for the day or something. And I think embracing the awkwardness of the initial interactions with people is probably like a mindset that I had the first few weeks, especially that first week, like welcome
Yeah,
week.
it's awkward for everybody, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And I think like recognizing, I don't know, I just think of now, like I felt so awkward in one interaction, and now it was just like, I don't know, I was like, get me out of here. But at the same time, I like kept with it and just like, okay, this is weird, but like I'm gonna stick with that, one of the welcome week events, and now I'm roommates with one of the with that guy that
With one of the awkward.
with one of the awkward, and
Rum.
it wasn't even him, but it was just like I was like, I don't even know how to respond to this,
Yeah.
like what we're doing, and just like almost felt very vulnerable in that. And now is another one of the guys that room with Nathan and I, and it was just like crazy to see that come full circle.
Yeah.
But embracing the awkward of recognizing like maybe this is awkward, but it's going to be awkward when I say hi to that person that sits next to me in class. But if I don't, then I'm not gonna.
Yeah, if you don't break the ice.
Right.
Yep.
I
That's
think
good.
we share something like similar to, and like both of us, like it doesn't seem like it now, but like high school we were a little bit more shy and reserved. And I think like that first week I was just like fresh start, like I want to like enjoy meeting new people, like, and I just went like all in with willing to like, I don't know, be myself and be like just open in conversation and just be my just like funny, sometimes silly self too. So it's just like opening that up, and then just a lot of like meeting a lot of like awesome crew people, and those people just being like very welcoming. It's just like, okay, like I can be like this, and I don't have to be like on edge or something. And I know that was something both of us shared. Like our first couple weeks was just like, wow, we're like not doing stuff we'd expect to normally be doing. Like we're way out of our comfort zones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jamie, what do you feel like your priorities were coming into college? Like what was like the first week? Do you remember feeling like, okay, this is what I want my priorities to be, or this is what I'm trying to accomplish, or this is...
Yeah. I don't think I really knew what my priorities were. Looking back, it probably would have been awesome to kind of think about that more. I think...
and what maybe what do you think they should have been too?
Yeah. I would say I'm not crying right now. my contacts get dry
It's
sometimes.
It's an emotional
And
podcast.
this light's kind of bright, so I'm getting a little emotional. But yeah. So I would say
The belt is so good.
It's okay.
this belt was so good. I just can't.
It's the best
Go to
ice cream
belts.
I've ever had.
We need some tissues.
Ignore
on
the
this podcast.
ignore the tear that runs on my face. But I would say priorities. I really just wanted to like meet new friends. Like I would say I've really like took that step of like, okay, I want to just like put myself out there, like be really friendly, like make all these connections, because it's like this is the time to do it, right? Like when else people are going to build their routines, and then you're going to be, if you don't build connections, you're going to be forgotten about, or I don't know. So I think that was my biggest priority, was just like building good connections my freshman year.
And we talked about this on a different episode with different people, but there's a lot of like theories out there, like you're going to make your friend group in college the first like 5 minutes you walk on campus. Those are going to be your friends forever, imprinting kind of ideas. My personal experience was I didn't really make my closest friends in college until probably second semester or later. So I think, obviously we're all looking for friends in college when we came, but it might happen right away, and you might not. You might find people later down the trail for sure. So, yeah. Nate, do you remember what your priorities were?
Yeah.
Fishing?
Yeah, of course. Like UWSP is huge on that. Every guy I know fishes basically. But if you don't, that's okay too.
That's fine.
Because we can teach you.
That's right.
But no, priorities, honestly, I have an older sister who's 5 years older, went to Bethel, which is like a Christian school, private Christian school. I looked at that, and that's really the only school that I really wanted to go to, like in my like junior year of high school. And then I just considered Point as like a budget friendly option. And I saw my sister go through her college years and have an amazing friend group that just supported her. And part of the reason why I didn't want to go to Point initially was I can't have that at a public like university. Like I'm not going to have the awesome friends that my sister got to make in her Christian community there. Man, was I wrong?
But wait.
Then that is like a huge priority of mine. Like going in after I decided to go to Point, I'm like, okay, what can I do? And a lot of that was like reaching out. A lot of people, mutual connections of ours, like recommended talking to Ryan, get involved with the college ministry. So that's where it sparked up that. I got to meet with Ian Hackett, another guy that used to work with crew. We went out fishing and just got to talk about that. And yeah, I guess the rest is kind of history, but made an awesome group of friends.
And you guys, I would say all three of you like really put yourself out there. Do you remember that being tough at any point? Do you remember it feeling like, I don't want to do this, but I should?
Definitely. It's difficult, but
that's such a good word for people to hear. Like it's not going to be.
Oh, it's not easy. Yep. What's promised to us that's going to be easy.
That's right.
I remember like my freshman year, especially like even like I struggled to be consistent even going to crew. Like my roommate and I, Lauren, we would make it an effort to go each week, but if it wasn't like, it was like sometimes it's hard because we don't know a lot of people. We're just freshmen. Like sometimes we show up and then it's like, okay, bye. Like at least I'm like, praise the Lord that we had each other too. So it was like, that's half the battle is like having someone to go with you, I feel like, and just being able to like be a friend there.
Yeah.
But I'd say the more you do it, the easier it gets to just like put yourself out there, and it's like getting over this hump of a little bit of like uncomfortability, awkwardness. And then you meet new people, and it's really fun.
Yep. That's great. Kyle, do you remember feeling the like, I don't want to go, but I should?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't go to.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, that's fair. I didn't either. So
Yeah, no, I mean, there was a level of that. There's a level of trying out different organizations and clubs and stuff too. And at the time of coming into college too, I wasn't like, I didn't necessarily come into Crew to explore my faith. Like I didn't, that wasn't my priority or intention necessarily.
yeah. What was your priority?
I got connected or like kind of saw Crew as a good outlet or community resource, kind of outside of like the drinking partying scene.
Okay, so it's like an alternative to partying.
Yeah, it was an alternative to partying, and I knew that the faith based, and I kind of had some like curiosity, maybe more so in that, and wasn't shying away from that reality. But I wasn't maybe like focused heavily on like my relationship with God, that I wanted to like make sure I was in, Christian organization or campus ministry. But I think, yeah, just over time, not only like recognizing just like all of the cool, fun interactions I had with people in Welcome Week, and the times that I did go to a Bible study or Crew within those first month or so, I really started to go more consistently too, as I was getting invited out to more things, and I was like, people were like interested, not just in like, were interested in me as a person and wanted to really get to know me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. So that wasn't necessarily my priority, but it quickly became that, I'd say.
So, yeah, Kyle, so you're saying that you weren't really looking for like a faith community as much as you were just looking for a friend group that wasn't maybe hitting the party scene up. And then you kind of fell into a faith community, and obviously that had an impact on your life. So Welcome Week is a big deal. I mean, you can choose to not get involved and still get involved later in your college career with anything, obviously. But it is, I think, especially Welcome Week leading into the first 6 weeks of the college semester. That time as an incoming freshman is a time that I would say, like you were saying, Jamie, like think about your priorities. And obviously academics is going to be a huge priority. But as you're leaving your friends and family back home, whatever that might mean, or staying in town, but your friends and family are leaving you in some way, you're going to need some kind of support structure. And I know for me, I went like a very clear, like, I don't want to be in Stevens Point. I don't know anyone. This is a miserable experience, to I'm having the best time of my life. I went like that in a semester just based on finding good community.
Yeah.
And, one of the reasons I'm on staff with Crew now and doing what I'm doing is because the community that Crew provided me with as a student was so deep and meaningful as a student that I wanted to come back and provide that for other people.
Yeah. And I would say, like, I, coming into college, did not know what Christian community looked like. I didn't know, like, what to be looking for. I didn't know what priorities I should have in, like, my friends around me, and who's encouraging me, who's speaking into my life. So I think that's like an important message to hear too, is like the life that comes from Christian community. And
yeah, because if you don't know what it feels like, you don't really
why
know.
am I
didn't
going?
either.
Why do I want to look for that?
Yeah, I
have
didn't either.
friends, like,
I always share the story, like my youth group, my senior year, they asked all the seniors to stand up, and I stood up by myself. That was my, like, hey, senior.
But that's like a real, not to that extent,
Yeah.
but like a real reality that I think like I experienced and I know other people did. Like, you just see kind of as you get older, almost like more and more of your friends in youth group. If you grew up like going to a youth group with any church, like it kind of feels like fades away.
Yeah.
And we started like with like 10 people, and it got like 6, and then next year was like 4, and then like 2 or 3 people consistently, and then it's like, okay, like
Yeah.
a lot of flakiness.
Yeah,
kinda.
but I think that can exist maybe in high school, but what you don't realize is how much your well-being is attached to relationships and healthy relationships. And I think Christian communities, provide an outlet or an opportunity. Not that Christians are ever perfect, but they provide a group of people who are trying to have good relationships, as opposed to people who are just kind of out there doing it, And so I think one of the advantages of being a part of a group like Crew on campus, finding it quickly, is that you're finding people who, maybe aren't as focused on other things that could be more destructive in their college career, but are focused on healthier things. And those types of people, obviously, there's so many things that are said about, the 10 people you hang out with the most are going to have the most impact on you, things like that. This is a really great place to find people who are really trying to grow closer with God and trying to make their college career the best possible. And they're kind of getting together on a Thursday night to try to figure out some of that stuff, which I think is very significant, very important.
Yeah. So. Speaking to that, as we're talking about the first week, I was blown away at the intentionality that the first 5 people I met, within Crew, how much they cared. And some of them at an event we met and then were with me the entire 2-3 hours. It wasn't
wow.
Hey, get to know you for a few minutes. And they just leave me and I'm I know no one else. They were with me the entire time, which was wow, this person cares about me. This isn't what I experienced maybe in high school, or this isn't what I experienced in other running around to different organizations and stuff, or clubs.
And as we've been doing this series kind of on Welcome Week and welcome freshmen to Crew, one of the repeating themes has just been that leaders that actually took time to get to know freshmen had such a huge impact on them. And I know for me as an upper class student, and maybe you're upperclassmen hearing this podcast, you might not be aware of the influence you could potentially have on a person, life-changing. I mean, whoever did that, and we talked about it in a different podcast episode. We were talking about going to your first Crew meeting, and people mentioned people just spent time after Crew talking to me like I mattered. And that is it doesn't feel like you're going around the world to be a missionary or anything crazy, but that is such a significant role that you can do as an upperclassman. You can play that into somebody else's life and be a life changer that easy, so.
Well, Jamie was actually one of those people. So that's where
wow.
The intentionality.
She's crying again, folks.
She's
crying. Waterworks.
That's where it started though, where it's I see this intentionality, and it was all the people that I got to meet and stuff, and it's that's in the last 2 years that's played out in so many other ways. It's not just they were that way so they could make friends, and then it's
but they really cared about you.
Yeah,
and I mean that is hopefully, as a Crew ministry, that's hopefully what we're doing, and
we're not perfect at it.
No,
for any means too. Yeah.
Right, and it varies week to week, month to month, year to year. Everyone's ability. You might get terrible news about a family member the first Crew meeting of the year, and you show up and you're just barely there. That happens. Yeah. I mean, we all live in a real world, in real life, and it's hard to know how you're going to be coming in. But there's been weeks where I just need to kind of muster up the energy to go out and initiate, and have found that has had a life-changing effect on people. So
yeah. And as a freshman coming into a new space like that, it's good to know that that is our heart and our intention to be that for you. And we're not always perfect at it, but that's what we're aiming for.
Totally. Yeah. All right. So as we wrap up, Jamie, I don't know if you're going to be able to answer this question, but I'll give it a shot. Where did you fish your first week of your freshman year? Jamie, did you fish at all?
He's trying to get our secret spots.
Answer. Yeah.
Jamie didn't fish.
Okay, what was something you did your first week?
What was that recreation? You should share a recreation. Did you recreate?
Freshman year?
Yeah.
Or
your freshman year.
A year.
Play basketball?
Yeah,
Basketball, yeah.
Oh, was that volleyball?
Yeah, basketball. Woo.
Yeah, sorry.
Awesome. I did go to the hypnotist.
You did? Did you get hypnotized?
No, I tried. I sat there. I was like, this is the day I'm going to be hypnotized. And I had Lauren next to me who was like, I'm so scared. I do not want to be hypnotized. And I'm like, please hypnotize me.
Man, I wish I could have been a fly on the wall for that.
Oh,
yeah. Been funny. Nathan, where'd you fish? You don't have to give away the spot.
The river.
That's a good.
The river.
Oh yeah. I think I fished twice. I think I fished the river once and in Wapaka
Oh yeah.
once. And yeah,
Good old Wapaka.
I think I caught a 4.5 pound bass.
Yeah.
And that just solidified a friendship
just-
with these two random dudes
Yeah.
that I met like 2 days before, and they were like, "Hey, you want to go out like fishing for like 10 hours?" And I'm like,
Why not?
"Sure." And they
I'm
just
your
like,
guy.
drove me, and like I could have been gone, but praise God.
Kyle, where'd you fish?
I don't know that I fished the first week.
No.
I mean, on top of not only welcome week, like crew stuff, and that was a lot of fun and just interactive, and I'm very glad I did it. That's busy. It's in itself.
Yeah.
Like almost everything, and then all the stuff that the university puts on and figuring out you're living with this person
yeah.
for the first
There's a
time.
lot going on.
And a lot happening. The first time I remember, like vividly remember fishing, that first like week or two is when we went out muskie fishing on the river. Do you remember this?
Oh, let's go. We went to the. Oh, I shouldn't say it.
An undisclosed
That was
body of
close.
water.
We went south. That'll be a
went
hint.
south.
We went south. Nice, somewhere nice and warm.
So-
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So Nathan
Nope.
and
Did you get a muskie that day?
I don't think
We went north to go south.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
But
Yeah.
nothing was landed.
I don't think so.
All right.
I wasn't muskie fishing. I think I had a bass rod in my hand.
Okay. So
But-
you guys keep alluding to like getting in the car with random strangers. And this is no joke, but my freshman year, I was fishing at Schmeekley on Lake Jonas. And this guy, random guy, middle-aged guy, could have been an axe murderer, comes walking up to me and he's like, "Hey, you want to go catch some real fish?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "All right, let's
Like,
go. I'll
take
take
me.
you to a few spots." I didn't
No
have a car. I
way.
did this. This is true. These were the late 90s.
Did you
Things
tell
were
your parents?
probably after, but not before. And so I get in the car with a random stranger. He takes me to Jordan Park, and I catch some bass up there. And then he took me down below McDill Pond, and I caught some bass there. And then he took me home.
Did you ever
Never
see this
to
guy?
Never
see
saw
him
him again.
It was an angel.
Great.
He was. I think
Maybe.
he was an angel. He was a bass angel.
Taught you the ways of the fish.
He was like, "You're gonna catch." He's like, "If you haven't caught any
He's like,
fish, we need to
"Cast
get
on
you some
this side,
fish."
Cast on
Yeah.
this side of the boat.
Yeah. It was pretty miraculous that A, I wasn't killed, and then B, that I actually caught fish. But I would just highly recommend anyone out there who's listening to this,
Don't get in the vehicle.
please
with
don't
a
get in the
stranger.
vehicle for sake of bass.
Mm.
It's just not worth it.
I mean,
I
if
don't
you're
with it.
starting to get to know the person.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, but yeah,
Probably not
not
the van.
random people.
I
Yeah.
got a quick, short mini story on getting into the car, and then I think we should each share like just a little tidbit of like random like good information
All
for
right.
like freshmen.
Go
coming
ahead.
In. Random story is it was after we went to a football game because they have like a football game the first week or two, and I have a like minivan. And we put like I think there was 13 people. We just folded all the seats down, and just random people were getting in the back when we were leaving, and we bottomed out because they're just like dragging.
Yeah, because it's just
Loaded. I don't even remember. I think I could name like 4 people that were in that car. But funny story is last year at crew, one girl came up to me after crew and was like, "I was in your van," and I'm like, "What in the world?"
No
like,
kidding.
she's like, "Oh, like freshman year, like the first week, like I was one of the people," and I was like, "How in the world?" I think we went to Belts, didn't we go?
Yeah.
That's a great way
that's,
to tie
That's
it in.
great to tie it in.
But,
That's a
like-
good
Carl
time.
D's. It was Carl D's.
Oh, it was
Ooh,
Carly's.
Okay.
Oh yes, it was. But
So random tidbit to finish it off, right? Was that it?
random tidbit.
Okay, Jamie, what's your one word of advice for freshmen? Welcome week. What to do?
I don't know. I think, especially if you maybe don't have a roommate that's excited about going to anything crew related with you, that can be hard. I would say still go, and like Kyle's saying, like put yourself out there. It could be a little bit awkward at first, but I'd say if there's an event that you're like, hey, I could maybe enjoy glow in the dark volleyball, even though it's not glow in the dark ish enough, I guess. But yeah, go put yourself out there, make a connection. Chances are there is somebody there that really has a desire to make an intentional connection with you and
Yep.
wants to see you have a great experience in these next 4 years of your college life, whether that's getting plugged in with crew or not, they care about you. And so go and put yourself out there.
That's good. Nate, what's your word?
I would say people, I think, look down on Stevens Point as it doesn't have that much to offer. I think Point, like, not even just living here, but like getting to expose other people to like what all Point has to offer, whether it's like Green Circle Trail, Schmeekly, walking around, biking, hiking, disc golf, hunting, fishing. There's a ton of opportunity for that. You don't have to have like boats, like cars to get to like stuff. You can walk, you can bike from campus, you can like downtown farmers market. That's super awesome. Places to eat, places to like shop. Like, I don't know.
Point's got it all.
Yeah, honestly, coffee shops galore. Like, I think we
hit
have
up
like
Iverson.
6.
Hit up Iverson. Do some swimming in the river, in the Plover.
There's
That's
so
so
much.
great.
And it's like a relatively, like, I don't know, to me, like, it's super safe too. And like, not that you just want to like go walk out in the middle of nowhere by yourself, but like,
It's pretty safe.
like you can go to a park with some friends and like it's super fun. So
Kyle, what's your word?
Ooh, I'd say if I had to pick like a single word, it'd be conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I think coming into college, leaving high school, I definitely like always had social anxiety, and I didn't have like a community group necessarily in high school because of it. But like I said, like just coming in with a mindset of like, okay, I'm just going to embrace the awkward. I know, like, because my social anxiety, I'm feeling this personally. It doesn't mean that the other people are feeling that or coming from a place of judgment. And so recognizing that, and just trying to get in as many little conversations as I can, really trying to make connections and recognizing that just because I talk to someone doesn't mean I have to be their best friend, but just like really, intentionally like seeking that out, trying to remember names or something about somebody.
Yeah, that's good.
To really like, oh, like I see that person, and maybe you sit down and it's like, oh, I just met that person and they're in my class now, and it's like then you have someone just to keep kind of building off of. So whether it's someone in crew and it's a leader that initiates with you, or you initiate with them, because that can happen, or another freshman that you kind of connect with, just try and like build off those conversations. I think that can be definitely formative, like Nathan was saying.
Yeah. My word is take the free stuff.
There you go.
Because there's just so much free stuff.
There is.
And I think when you're a freshman, you're like, I don't know if I should take this. And as long as you're not signing up for a credit card, I just say take the free stuff, because there's a lot of it. Welcome week.
they're gonna give away you so much free Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, I can't say that stuff tastes terrible.
It does.
Maybe
I
don't
don't-
take the
it-
Red Bull, but
We'll save it
Some
for like
stuff in
finals
there.
or something.
oh yeah, actually
midterms.
use it to barter for other people's free stuff.
There's all kinds of
That's what I did.
opportunities. Yeah, don't miss the opportunities for the free stuff. Take the Red Bull, even if you're not going to drink it, and use it to sell
Use
to your
it as
neighbor.
currency.
Yeah,
If you
use
do
it as
like
currency.
Red Bull, there's no judgment. I don't know if I've ever drinking a Red Bull.
Yeah, I've definitely had it. It's weird tasting.
There's better drinks.
I've had
Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast, guys. And if you're listening to this and you're coming to Point, or you're going to college, going to be a freshman, or you're a leader, or you're just going to be in college and you're listening to this, thanks for listening. We'll keep pumping out these.